Are we?
Yeah. So nice to see you after
Here
long.
we go. Good evening, Atik.
Good evening, Ali.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome, guys, to the new series, the Do's and Don'ts series. This series will be of 3 sessions over 3 days. We will cover what to do and what don't not to do in the funny topics. So for each topic, we will give you one important do and one important don't, if you want to call it in this way. And we will give another practical examples as well for each topic. The best one to help me in this series will be Atik. Atik, how are you?
I'm doing well, Ali. Yes, thank you, dear viewers, for tuning in. So this is precisely jumping on to the precise do's and don'ts on each and every topic on PTE. So let's jump straight ahead, guys, without any further ado. We'll start with read aloud. Ali, the floor is yours.
Okay, let's start with read aloud. In read aloud, the first do, you have to speak in phrases. Do speak in phrases with appropriate intonation. When we say phrases, do speak in couple of words together. Okay, this is a very important requirement by PTE. So do speak in phrases with appropriate intonation. And for the don't ever repeat any words, even if you make a mistake while reading. Like you are reading and you made a mistake, yeah? Like by default, you may feel that you need to fix it. Don't do it, okay? You made already a mistake. If you want to fix it, this is another mistake and you will be in a big trouble, okay?
Precisely, Ali.
So if we move to the next slide and we give a practical example. So do speak in phrases with appropriate intonation. Let's go together. The semiconductor industry has been able to improve the performance of electric systems for more than 4 decades by making ever smaller devices. However, this approach will soon encounter both scientific and technical limits, which is why the industry is exploring a number of alternative device technologies. Yeah,
Excellent, Ali. Sorry to interrupt you. I believe the sentences are relatively long and the punctuations are quite far off. So breaking sentences down into meaningful phrases would also help in being more expressive, and the tone would be also more appropriate. So that's the best do advice that we can give
this
you
would be
for
the
read
best
aloud.
tip ever, as you mentioned, especially in long sentences where there is no punctuations. Like a student may run off breath, may not be meaningful when you are speaking a very longer sentence. A very long
Precisely.
sentence may not be understandable by the audience, okay, by
Precisely.
anyone who's listening to you. So it's a good point to phrase it, especially when there is no punctuation.
So Ali, please give a demo of, what not to do when it
Don't?
comes to,
Okay.
yes.
The semiconductor industry has been able to improve the performance of electric systems for more than 4 decades by making ever smaller devices. So as you see, a lot of
Yeah.
mistakes.
Yes.
So yes, you are in trouble if you are making a mistake. I don't need to see you making a mistake, especially when it comes to content. But if it happened, what can you do? You can't go and fix it. If you fix it, you're making things even getting worse. So don't repeat yourself, don't fix yourself, just keep going. Okay?
Excellent. Thank you, Ali. And we move on to the next task, guys.
Repeat
And
sentence, yeah?
repeat sentence, exactly. And we've got very short message for you with regards to repeat sentence. So when you're listening to the sentence, you do not listen to all the words word by word, but rather listen to the sentence as pieces of information, which is break the sentence down into meaningful chunks and listen to the sentence in chunks of words, which is groups of words, meaningful groups of words together. And what not to do, a big don't is do not modify any words, which is do not insert or do not replace words. Okay, and very easy to understand, but let's go through the demonstration of what repeating sentence in meaningful chunks mean. So if I play the first sentence right here.
The lecture on child psychology has been postponed until
When you
Friday.
listen to that particular sentence, do not straight away start speaking as the lecture on child psychology has been postponed until Friday. That if you have that tendency, and I think Ali, you would agree with me, is that up to a certain word, you may be able to recollect it, and then you'd hit the wall, and you'd start mumbling, and you'd have awkward random pauses trying to recall back the extra few words that you missed out. However, if you listen to the sentence in meaningful chunks, it is convenient for your brain to process it. So listen to the sentence as it's displayed over here. the lecture on child psychology has been postponed until Friday. So if we play another sentence for you guys.
There will be ample opportunities to ask questions
So
about the
straight away you think that
presentation.
one chunk of words. There will be ample opportunities to ask questions about the presentation. So in that way, if you receive information and if you recall back, then your short-term memory with the help of chunking is going to help you to recollect and repeat all the words correctly.
So
now
you mean, Atik, you need to receive and deliver in chunks for both of them? Okay.
Precisely.
Makes sense.
So that's the best way to utilize your short-term memory to receive as well as to recall all the words for a repeat sentence. Now, a quick modification example of what modification means. So let's say the sentence says,
you should include your name and identification number in the application form.
You should include your name and passport number in the application. So maybe you forgot or you are not able to pay attention and you are not able to recall all the words. However, you've added words to complete and make up a sentence. This is highly undesirable. This has a negative impact on your score. So what you only want
score precisely, Atik, if you could
on content score. As a result, it would affect your listening section score. Yes, so your content would be impacted if you add or replace words. So that's my advice, guys. Do not add or replace words, and do listen as well as recall it in chunks. Okay, so let's go to the next.
You should include your name and identification number in the
lecture on
application
child
form.
psychology has been postponed until Friday.
There will be ample opportunities to ask questions about the presentation.
Let's go. Beg your pardon.
So excited by your tip. Let's go to describe image.
It's just started playing out in itself. Here we go, Ali. Describe image. What do you got?
In describe image, do focus on fluency more than content accuracy. Yes, you have to do this. Describe image is the only speaking task that do contribute to the speaking only. Yeah? So read aloud has contribution to reading. Others like the lecture, repeat sentence to listening, and so on. However, describe image is the only one that has a full contribution to the speaking section, and this contribution is a heavy one. It's a very significant one. So you need to focus on the fluency. The flow of your speech must be very fluent all the time. Okay, and don't simply read aloud all the information given in the image. Like you are getting an image, don't just read the information as pieces of words. There must be a flow of your speech in an academic template, academic way. The selection of words that you are using must reflect that you are describing an image in an academic way. Like the transitional words you are using in a template must reflect that you are describing an image in an academic way. And this is where some students miss. They tend to read aloud the information given by keywords. This is a very bad idea, and it will impact your speaking score.
Exactly, Ali. So if a student is just simply reading out a bunch of words, there is no connectivity, there is no coherence, then the purpose of describe the image itself is lost, and you're just simply reading a bunch of words. So Ali, please have a quick demonstration for us.
So do focus on fluency more than content accuracy. Here we go. This image shows the population of Australian states and territories in year 2006 in different categories, such as Tasmania, South Australia, Victoria, and so on. It's clear from the image that New South Wales contributes to the highest population of Australian states at 600. That's it. Yeah, maybe I'm struggling to read it 682, okay? Exactly. And if I need to get my head closer, I may make a mistake and I may hesitate. So I'm just gonna say it out 600, but isn't it the maximum?
Yes, of course.
It is the maximum, all right?
Of course.
So this is very important. And here when I say, don't simply read aloud the information, like say the words, like this image shows population, this image shows Queensland, I can see Victoria, I can see 33 and 49, I can see a beautiful image, let me have it. It doesn't work.
Doesn't make any sense either, and there is no coherence at all.
No coherence.
And it doesn't.
However, in my template, when I say, it's clear from the image that New South Wales contributes to the highest, on the other hand, Northern Territory contributes to the lowest. See, I use this word on the other hand to move from highest to lowest, and this is how the computer will detect that you are using an academic way and give you a score. So,
there is a logical flow there, Ali.
Yes, this is a logical flow. So please, guys, do focus on fluency more than content accuracy. However, don't simply read aloud all the information given in the image.
Okay,
The
excellent.
next one, retail lecture. You are
Retail
master of
lecture.
retail lecture.
So retail lecture, again, one of those tasks which puts the student off. However, we have simple tips over here. So when you're taking notes, please do take notes in complete manner, which is try to take notes in a form of a sentence. If not, do try to take sentences in the form of phrases. So if you take notes in the form of sentences or phrases, they would be meaningful. They would be understandable when you are retelling them back. However, if you take just a bunch of words, keywords, they may not be understandable, and it would be disjointed elements which would not make sense. So do take notes in the form of phrases or sentences to get a higher content match. And once you've finished completing taking your notes, and when you start to speak, the don't is do not hesitate or mumble when you are speaking. There has to be an absolute clarity. There has to be calmness in your speech, and there has to be smoothness in your speech. Okay, so you must not hesitate or mumble, regardless of what kind of notes you have. Okay, so as a demonstration of the sort of notes that you want to take, let's say if I play this recording and you put an effort to take notes from this recording, let's try and see what sort of notes you end up with and what sort of notes I would advise you to take. Okay, here we go.
Today is March 2nd, and March is Archaeology Month in Arkansas.
When most people think about archaeology, they think about Indiana Jones, who found spectacular artifacts. Archaeologists do dig up artifacts, but that's only part of the story. Archaeology is the study of past humans, not dinosaurs. We try to understand past human cultures by analyzing the stuff that people left behind. In order for artifacts to tell us something, we look at context, where they were in the ground, and their relationship to other artifacts and materials. Think of an archaeological site as a crime scene. There is a gun in the room. That gun can provide some information, but in order to really solve the crime, you have to pay attention to where it is, how it relates to the body, the broken window, the knocked over chair. Context is how archaeologists solve the mystery of past cultures.
Okay, so now that the recording has finished and you are still trying to group your notes, in the quick 10 seconds that you get before you start to speak, just try to bring a bit clarity of your notes of what you've written down. Maybe you want to divide the notes into equal parts so that you know how you can transition from your note one to the next note. And once the 10-second is over, once you start to speak, that's when the don't element comes in. Please, even though you might have lots of clear notes and you go, the lecture is about March is Archaeology Month. And the lecture also says archaeology is the study of past humans. The lecture also highlighted for artifacts. If we have that sort of response, even though you might have good content, the content would not be recognized by the system because you have lots of hesitation and mumbling in your speech. So regardless of what sort of content you have, speak confidently. Okay. According to the oration, March is Archaeological Month. In addition to the initial focal point, archaeology is the study of past humans. Moreover, for artifacts to tell us something, we look at context. So guys, the flow has to be steady. It has to have the correct tone. The stress levels have to be appropriate. But at the same time, you must not mumble and you must not hesitate. That's my advice, Ali.
Awesome.
Okay, so if we move to the next question, and this is, I understand that the relevance of answer short question is not looked into. However, we still need to follow some basic decorums, and that is when the question is played, do reply with a short answer, which is do not provide an answer with a full sentence. So if you get asked what's the capital of Australia, so do not say the capital of Australia is Canberra, but rather just simply say Canberra, as simple as that. And because some questions may some answers might accompany an article, but that's up to it. For most of the answers, it's simply a single word or a single phrase. Now, with regards to don'ts, please don't go silent for more than 3 seconds. So this is where it gets interesting, Ali. What the students tend to do is once they listen to the question and they comprehend it, they try to understand and process it. By the time they come up with a answer, it's past 3 seconds. And because they have kept quiet for more than 3 seconds. When a system detects silence for more than 3 seconds, it goes dead, and your answer would not be recorded. So guys, this is very important that you understand. Provide an answer, be it a guess, be it a correct answer. Whatever the answer is, you have to provide it within 3 seconds. So if, let's say, quickly the question comes about and the question is asked as, which reference book can you find synonyms and antonyms? And all of a sudden you are stuck. Quickly say pass if you're not sure, or dictionary if you're not too sure. Well, the answer should have been thesaurus, but if you do not know, the answer should be provided instantly within the first couple of seconds. Okay. Same goes if you get questions like how many sides does a pentagon have? I think penta, usually it's 5. So you process that information. Do not try and say quickly pass just because you've been advised to provide an answer instantly. So think about the question, process it for just 1 or quick 2 seconds, and then come up with an answer. All right. And of course, these are trivia questions. Okay, so it just takes a second for you to think, but do not take more than 2 seconds to think and come up with an answer. So that's it from the answer short questions. Provide your answer, provide short answer, ideally in 1 word, or and do not keep quiet for more than 3 seconds, Ali.
Let's go to summarize written text.
Excellent.
So summarize written text is the first task you get it after the speaking section. Do read the passage to identify the main ideas. You have to read the passage to identify the main ideas. Writing without reading is a very bad idea. And students in this task tend, as soon as they get it, to start typing. Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe because they are scared of running out of time, so they start typing. But this will work against you. Why? Because you are writing, then you read 1 or 2 sentences, then you type, then you get distracted, then you read again. So this is actually more time consuming. So
yeah.
If there's a threat that you're going to run out of time is if you write without reading. 10 minutes are more than enough to write a summary and check it and even have 1 spare minute. How? If you read. Okay.
Excellent.
If I were you, I would spend 2 minutes on reading the passage. I need to read it to understand the purpose so that I later can identify the main ideas easily. Those main ideas will be related to the main purpose. Okay.
Okay.
And in English, guys, any academic writing, there will be 1 main purpose. There's only 1 main purpose for any text you are reading. There may be minor purposes, but there's only 1 main purpose. So please, guys, do read the passage to identify the main ideas, because as soon as you understand the purpose, finding the main ideas will be so easy.
Okay.
On the other side, don't include your own ideas about the topic. Don't do it. This is a killer mistake. Students would like maybe to impress the computer. Like you got a student who has got an engineering background. Once they get a topic about engineering, they add their own ideas. Maybe they think that the more they write within the 75-word limit, the more content they get. But I'm telling you, if you do that, you're in a big trouble and your score may go to as low as 0. Don't include your own ideas. Just stick to whatever is given by the examiner in the text. Okay. If we move to the next slide, Atiq, and make it practical. For example, this is a passage, yeah? It will take up to 2 minutes to read it, yeah? So once I read it, and I'm gonna give 2 minutes like for our viewers to read it, and I will go through it scanned quickly within 2 minutes. Okay, so I have scanned this text quickly, yeah, and I find that it's talking about a star. First of all, it is a descriptive text, yeah. Descriptive text means they are describing a star, yeah, and the writer was all the time describing the star and comparing it to the Earth, yeah. So now I know that I need to pick up those descriptive ideas, okay, talking about the star and describing it in respect to Earth, yeah. So after applying all the tips, all the strategies, I will be able to get 3 ideas to 4 ideas, talking about the stars, its feature, its name, where is it located, how can we use it? We can use it to detect some Earth-sized planets which can have liquid on their surfaces, and so on. Okay, so those are the ideas, descriptive ideas talking about the star. However, some students, because the last sentence ends that they are the best possible means for detecting Earth-sized planets which can have liquid water on their surfaces. Because of this sentence, some students may say, okay, but scientists haven't yet found a planet with water. Yeah, so they may add it. They may say, but scientists have not yet confirmed the existence of water on other planets.
Right. So this is what you mean by adding your own ideas,
Yeah,
because we know for a fact they haven't yet identified any. Okay.
Yeah.
Right,
So why to do it? Like, we know from the fact that scientists have not yet confirmed the existence of water on another planet. So why should you add it? It doesn't make sense. You are in a big trouble.
Yeah.
So do read the passage to identify the main ideas, and don't 3 times. Don't include your own ideas about the topic. This is from my side. This is the end of this series, guys, where we discuss the speaking and one writing task. Hopefully we see you in other days. Atiq, he will wrap it up.
Thank you, Ali. It was very insightful with regards to summarized written text. And thank you, dear viewers, for tuning into today's session, the very first session of Do's and Don'ts series. And we'll catch up soon. Thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye.
Bye.